This is the thing. Devizes police are still pursuing an agenda whereby they're attempting to cast me as a Russian disinformation operative. It's all very interesting considering I've explained the synthesis between Devizes police's operations and Russian state operations to do with the organ harvesting, i.e. the fact that the Russian state provides Devizes with 10,000 experimental test subjects from parapsychological programs, i.e. highly evolved Russian mental patients from secret psychiatric facilities in Russia, mainly in Siberia, are transferred to Devizes for utilization in the organ harvesting process, i.e. their organs are then sold back to the Russian state. So it's all a very interesting process indeed. The Russian state know that they could not get away with carrying out these atrocities on their own soil. So they subcontract the disposal of these highly evolved mental patients to the Devizes people, especially the Devizes Butcher Police Freemason network. So it's all very interesting indeed. I've also explained that the Russian state are utilizing me in a targeted individual program. Indeed, I'm not solely under the British intelligence and British police targeted individual programs, i.e. Masonic networks. I'm also being surveilled and harassed, targeted and persecuted by Russian state operatives, i.e. networks of elite KGB secret societies whose parameters are founded on Soviet Illuminism, which is a slightly different branch of Illuminism from Bavarian Illuminism, which is dominant among British police fraternities and Freemasonic lodges in Britain. So it's all very interesting to note. Indeed, I am heavily influenced by highly evolved Russian mental patients, though I also take influence from Anglo and Anglo-American conspiracy theorists, urban legends tellers, and mental patients. So it's all very interesting indeed. I believe in finding a network of higher evolved parapsychotics to operate with against Devizes police. Indeed, it's all very interesting how this is turning out. What with this becoming a protracted, long-scale operation, i.e. the activities of a mental patient in attempting to expose Devizes police for what they really are. Indeed, the Devizes police force are now putting beams through my screen to attempt to stop me from channeling Catty, i.e. my Romanian ex-girlfriend, a beautiful feline brunette who was murdered by the police Freemasons of Grenville Lodge number 1787 in the summer of 2012, before my brain was wiped and any memories of my exposures of Grenville Lodge were scrubbed from the internet and scrubbed from public knowledge. So very interesting to consider the creation of amnesia in my mind by a network of professors who are themselves connected to the British police at Grenville Lodge number 1787, the home of the Hellfire Club in Buckinghamshire, where I was tortured and ritually abused and raped and then had my brain wiped, i.e. was given a serious case of amnesia in retaliation for exposing the Hellfire Club networks at Grenville Lodge, i.e. the schizophrenic cats on Thorazine saga as delineated in other videos on this YouTube. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider the lengths that these Freemasons in Britain will go to cover up for their criminal networks. Indeed, I've also stated that I've noticed that various paranoid schizophrenics have been being programmed to kill by the British intelligence services, and most probably Special Branch. Indeed, Special Branch is notorious for creating terrorists. Indeed, there seems to be currents within the UK government, i.e. eugenicists, that wish to pursue a campaign of misinformation about the paranoid schizophrenic population of the United Kingdom, i.e. attempting to cast the paranoid schizophrenic population of the United Kingdom as murderers, when they're not inclined to murder as people. Indeed, these murders of pensioners committed by paranoid schizophrenics have been, when under programming, indeed, they have been mind control operations. Indeed, these guys have been mind controlled assassins, attempting to basically pervert the course of justice in a way. This is the idea of the British intelligence services. They wish to cast all schizophrenics in a bad light as part of a T-4 program based on Nazi eugenics ideals, whereby paranoid schizophrenics will be cut off from the rest of society and herded into chambers beneath Devizes and utilized in an organ harvesting operation coordinated by the old staff of the old Roundway hospital. Indeed, this is all part of the Roundway experiment. Indeed, as soon as I arrived in Devizes, I believe that the old boys of Devizes police, who had operated as basically thugs for the old Roundway staff, recognized me as a higher evolved mental patient, potentially of Russian origin, like many kept in the chambers underneath the buildings. It must be noted that I have Anglo blood as well as Rusin blood, i.e. mixed race Russian gypsy heritage. So I'm an Anglo mental patient just as I am a Rusin mental patient. So, but the old boys of Devizes police recognized that I was one of the kind that had been used in the Roundway experimentation over the years, and decided to place me in Project T-F84, i.e. a Roundway experiment Mindgate program sub-branch that was operated by the Sabbatean, Dr. Peter Cohen, and his accomplice, the operative for the Mossad, also Dr. Peter Crofts, who were overseeing my handling in a psychological warfare project operated on me by Devizes police and the old Roundway staff, attempting to drive me as crazy as possible so that they could basically cast me as something I was not, i.e. a neo-Nazi terrorist. Indeed, it's interesting that they went for this designation. Indeed, it's interesting to consider that British intelligence, via Mindgate programmers, had been programming me for several years previous to this, under Gladio 4 circumstances, to be a neo-Nazi terrorist. However, I am not. I despise the Aryan faction within the British intelligence services, so it's all very interesting to note. Indeed, we need to start talking a bit more about these Nazi networks operating within the British intelligence, security, police, and psychiatric facility structures. However, we will get to that. Indeed, the Roundway experiment is ongoing, what with there being thousands of Russian and Anglo mental patients who have been stolen. The Anglo patients have been stolen from various psychiatric facilities across the United Kingdom. Indeed, many of them are pretty young ladies that are used as basically sexual objects by the Roundway staff. Indeed, they're all kept in chambers beneath the old Roundway establishment on the site of the modern Green Lane psychiatric facility. Indeed, Still very interesting. There must be at any one time a good 3,000 or 4,000 secret mental patients beneath the Roundway facility and underneath various residences in the town, including beneath the police headquarters, the Moonraker Lodge number 8747, the butcher shop, and various private residences, such as the Low Booth family's residences. And they have several interconnecting residences, interconnecting via tunnel systems in Devizes. Indeed, as I stated before, the Low Booth family is a key Sabbatean family within the Devizes setup. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, these mental patients are starved, beaten, tortured, and abused, and experimented on in psychic experimentation utilized by the Roundway staff, who themselves interconnect with Grenville Lodge professors. Indeed, there is a direct tunnel system interlinking Grenville Lodge number 1787 with the town of Devizes. And this is what I found so interesting. Indeed, when I was beginning to figure out things about Devizes, I realized there was a direct link between Devizes and Grenville Lodge. Indeed, there is a direct tunnel system, complete with some sort of high-speed vehicle, from Moonraker Lodge number 8747's vault labyrinths beneath the ground to the vaults and crypts beneath Grenville Lodge number 1787. So it's all very interesting indeed. These masons seem to like digging tunnels and operating in tunnel systems. So it's all very interesting to consider indeed. I believe that Grenville Lodge number 1787 is the home of a very sinister network of MI5, i.e. British Security Service operatives. And this network is known as the Monks of Mendicant Hall, which is interesting because this interconnects with the old friars of St. Francis of Wickham, who are themselves known as the Monks of Mednemham Abbey. So it's interesting that this network of MI5 security services operatives are known as the Monks of Mendicant Hall. And these guys interconnect with the XX, i.e. the British secret espionage network that supposedly spied on Nazis during the Second World War, but was actually recruiting them for post-war ambitions of the British fascist networks. And indeed, the XX spies on American citizens unlawfully via the Five Eyes domestic terrorism, etc. programs. Indeed, it's interesting, the XX is operative here in Wiltshire as part of an Aryan Templar overarching network. Indeed, the XX is deeply interconnected with NW7, i.e. the intelligence branch of the IG Farben complex. Indeed, the XX are Bavarian Illuminist in their traditions, carry out various rituals rooted in Sabbateanism. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, as I stated, there does seem to be a synthesis between the Devizes Police Freemason networks and the Grenville Lodge number 1787 network. So after I was designated as part of the project T-F84 in Devizes by the synthesis of Devizes Police old boys and the old staff of Roundway, I found myself having flashbacks of my time at Grenville Lodge, because I was seeing many overlays and interfaces between the Grenville Lodge Hellfire Club networks and the rings that Devizes Police were overseeing. So it all became very interesting. And when I learnt of the existence of all of these Russian heritage and British heritage mental patients beneath the complexes around the town, it all became very interesting indeed. The problem was I'd been designated as a part of T-F84, i.e. the Roundway experiment. So I was now in the Roundway experiment. So basically everything that was occurring in Devizes was part of a mind control experiment on me. Indeed, most of the guys who were harassing me were technically gang stalkers, such as Alex Day and PC Josh Dowse of Devizes Police. PC Alex Day and PC Josh Dowse of Devizes Police were part of this gang stalking operation, coordinated by the police, being that these are convicted child rapists operating as confidential police informants but posing as drug dealers. These networks of gang stalkers were operating for Moonraker Lodge number 8747 with handlers Clyde Paget and Worshipful Master Stephen Bridge. It's all very interesting to note the interconnectivity here and how this guy, Ed Giles, one of the masons of Moonraker Lodge number 8747, was overseeing a lot of my programming. While I was in Devizes, indeed, he was a notorious programmer and ritual abuser at the old Roundway site during the time of the original Roundway experiments. Indeed, Ed Giles was a key operative, interestingly, of the KGB. So it's all very interesting. Indeed, he was contracted by the KGB for carrying out a plethora of Soviet instrumental, so-called, because they utilized toothpicks and ice picks, etc., instrumental mind control programming and lobotomies. Indeed, it's interesting to note that Ed Giles of the Rose family is also connected to the Rothschild bloodline. This was why he was known to many mental patients who suffered during the Roundway experiments as Edward de Rothschild, as I've delineated in Instagram videos in the past. Indeed, this is all part of interconnected agendas. Indeed, it's all very interesting how the Devizes police are attempting to cast me as a Rothschild working for Russia. However, this isn't the case. I'm just a mental patient. I am on a higher stage of evolution than the Devizes country bumpkins, and this is why I cannot adapt to society. And the Devizes police old boys noticed me as soon as I entered the town in the summer of 2018 and immediately designated me as part of the Roundway experiment T-F84 and basically attempted to abuse me as much as possible so that I would go crazy and hopefully wouldn't drag the town's name into disrepute. However, the T-F84 project that the Devizes police and the old Roundway staff were attempting to utilize on me didn't take. Indeed, I broke out of the programming several times despite their attempts to program me with neo-Nazi fetishist programming. By January 2020, I'd broken out of the programming, and so began my series of exposures of the Devizes police networks, and the Roundway asylum gulag, which in the end led to me exposing vast networks within the town itself, which is all very interesting indeed. See my other videos for a delineation of the truth about this town. Indeed, the Roundway experiment is ongoing and has been ongoing since 1947, when various Nazi psychiatrists set themselves up at the Roundway asylum for the insane in Devizes as part of the UK equivalent of Project Paperclip, known as Project Moribund, which was chiefly a defense intelligence and MI6 project, though there was plenty of overlay with MI5, i.e. the security services. Indeed, Project Moribund basically provided the basis for the Nazification of Wiltshire. So it's all very interesting to note that several Nazi programmers and scientists set themselves up at the Roundway Asylum for the Insane in 1947 as part of Project Moribund. Indeed, and began the Roundway experiment. And indeed, I was placed into TF84, which overlays with the MI6 Mindgate mind control program, which is mainly operated in Wiltshire by defense intelligence operatives, who are themselves often DVD operatives. Therefore, they are all interlinked with the Nazi International that is attempting to destroy the West for the glory of the Bavarian Illuminati. So it's all interconnecting, and it's all really, really beginning to make sense. And indeed, I need to talk more about these Nazi networks operating out of Wiltshire. Indeed, I need to make peace with several Anglo elements who are watching this channel, wondering when I'll break out of my Russian psychosis. Indeed, I'm breaking out now, but due to interference from GRU mind control technology, I continually slip back into Russian nationalism, which I don't want to do. Indeed, it's all very interesting to note that although I have sympathy for these higher evolved Russian mental patients, I am not an operative of the Russian state or an advocate of Sovietism. So it's all very interesting to note. Indeed, I'm going to leave it there now.